All right, we are live again. Welcome. Let me get my glove on here. Get ready. I did a little bit of work on this earlier today, a little bit last night, just to clean up the smudge around the sides. So today the plan is to basically de-smudge these two little characters, these frog toads or toad frogs, and then from there, all right, color.
We are live again.
I can hear myself.
Welcome.
Sorry.
Let me get my glove on here.
Mute that. Okay, that's muted. Sorry about that. I'm still learning. 54 viewers, pretty cool. Let's see. 54 viewers. Oscar's in here. Hey, Oscar, how's it going? You're very excited to see what's next? Me too. I'm going to actually just come up with a color today. Hopefully you can hear me. Can everybody hear me? I want to double check that you guys can hear me. I've been doing some changes to this. Just got a new subscriber. Thanks, Casey. That's very awesome of you. Good? Okay, good. You can hear me. Very good. So I made some updates to this. I try to do a different title every time. I put a little subscribe on the bottom there because before it was just ugly text, so I thought I would create something that was a little prettier than that. But if you can, if you're new here, please subscribe. Hey, Venetia, welcome back. I know you were here yesterday. Steph Farrar, welcome. So on the bottom left there is my link. You can't click it, I don't think, but if you go to youtube.com/Lavalle Lee, you can subscribe, and then it'll pop up like it just did there for Maria, and that's a new like, so I appreciate that. So I guess likes and comments and, likes and follows, you get a nice little alert right there underneath the chat box. Aya, sorry if I'm not saying your name right, but welcome. Oh, neat. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. Yeah. Lou says I can hear you. Thank you so much. Antoinette, I think I'm saying that right. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. 63 viewers. That's pretty good. I think it's 63 viewers just on Facebook. Dan Spear says yes. Alice, hello, how's it going? This is actually Lavalle. I am Lavalle Lee from Don Bluth Studios and Traditional Animation. I work for Don Bluth. This is a project we're working on. This is a Don Bluth drawing. It's something called Bluth Fables, where Don will be the narrator for stories that he has written, very short stories, and this is a thing for the fans. So it's going to be pretty cool. All right, I got your name right. Carlos, hey, how's it going? So, yeah, so this is Bluth Fables. I could show you the one I've already finished. Let's see here. This is the one that I already finished. So basically what's going to happen here, it's going to be the characters will be colored, background items will all be in different grays, and then the rest will be white, and above here you'll see narration, and below here you'll see narration when Don is basically saying the story. Yeah, so we're going to have some music on there too, and there'll be like pages that flip. So it's not going to be animated because animation is very, very expensive. Wish we could do animation. Maybe down the line, if these become very popular and maybe, I don't know, we start a Patreon or something, we could start affording to do animation because cleanup is expensive and coloring is expensive. As you can see, I'm just doing smudge up, and that takes a long time, so we need a staff of people. Rome wasn't built by one man or one woman. It was built by many people. So same with animation. Animation, I think at one time Don had over 500 employees working on movies. So it takes a lot of people to make animation. So for now, these are just going to be, hey, there's a new share. Thank you so much. Isa. If you're new here, please subscribe at the bottom left. A little alert will pop up right about here that says you followed or shared or liked. I appreciate that. Lou says, oh, sounds like a great project. How exciting. Yeah, Lou, so basically Bluth Fables is something for the fans because we're working on some stuff that's behind the scenes that we can't talk about. So I can dedicate like an hour to a week on this project, and this is just for the fans. It's going to be 100% free. Don will be the narrator. Maybe down the line when we have a whole bunch of these stories, we'll put them together in one big book. And those books you'll be able to buy in stores or on Amazon or something, but it'll be like stories you can tell your children. Got a new like by Dave Snyder. Thanks, Dave. Let's see. Ali says, will it be on Facebook or behind a paywall? No, 100% free. So we're going to put it free on basically YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, depending how long it is, because Twitter only allows you to do 2 minutes, 20 seconds. If it's longer than 2 minutes, 20 seconds, it won't be on Twitter, but we'll have a link to probably the YouTube. I'll probably put it on Instagram. Instagram also has a limit on how long videos are. Thanks, Ben, for the new like. You're awesome, Ben. Please share this too. Get more people in here, more people excited about a new Don Bluth project that's going to be 100% free for everybody to check out. Let's see. I should probably just get started, huh? No, not a problem. I love Don's work. I do too. That's why I work here. So I'm going to go back to the project or the frame or the page that we're currently working on, or I'm currently working on, and get in here and start de-smudging. So yesterday I de-smudged him, the lion, and this little frog toad guy here. Julius asked what software I'm using. It's going to be Clip Studio Paint. I use Clip Studio Paint because it uses less resources than Photoshop, and I don't want the live stream to get slow, so I basically use Clip Studio Paint because I want to make sure that the stream goes, solid. So, all right, let me get in here. So basically what this is see all this gunk? This is smudge from a scan. So usually when you scan something, it's hard to, thanks Oscar, usually it's hard to, get rid of all this extra like thumbprints or smudge or whatever. So I go in there and I basically, it's something I call de-smudging or smudge up. Instead of clean up, smudge up. Because clean up is a completely different thing. Hey, Arif, looking good. Thank you. Also know that you can chat also in the YouTube channel. So I'm trying to build up the YouTube as well as the Facebook, but I want to get more people to the YouTube because I want to build that up because I plan on doing a lot of really cool projects on the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/Lavalle Lee, and that's me. Let's see, Dave says, are you down in the Arizona, Texas area? I think I remember hearing Don was, yes, we're down in Arizona, Scottsdale. So Scottsdale, Arizona is where we are. And it's nice and hot outside. I think it's like 100 degrees out or something ridiculous like that. But, so what I usually do here is I'll just sit there and I'm basically going around the lines and deleting the gunk or the smudge is what I call it. And I go around and I just do like that. So it's really simple because then I can go in with the marquee, go around, grab that, go around, and then just like that, his arm is clean. So he's going to be completely clean. Thanks. Thank you so much, Lou, for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all subscribes, trying to get this page up. It's funny because I didn't use the YouTube Lavalle Lee for the longest time because I was using Traditional Animation YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/traditionanimation, but I don't really update that one anymore. I wanted to start building the Lavalle Lee one, my name, because I'm going to be doing projects outside of just traditional animation, so I thought I would start building that as well. So another thing I'd be careful of when you're de-smudging is not to eat the line. Eating the line means getting in there and accidentally taking up some of Don's line. It's the last thing you want to do. Julius says, well, nice, wish I could draw like that. Yeah, Don is a master. He's an amazing artist, and just for me to be able to, de-smudge his work or color his work, and I've also done in-betweening during animation on 3 projects actually. It's amazing and it's fun to do, and to be able, I remember the first time I did an in-between to one of his animation drawings, and I took it to him, and it was the first time he said, okay, that's good. And there's no changes that had to be done to it, because I think my first 3 in-betweens or 2 in-betweens needed work. He's like, you missed this, or ooh, you could have done this line better. But I remember the first time I went into his office while he was animating and said, now, is this in-between work? And when he said yes, that first time he said yes, I walked out of the office with the biggest grin on my face. I was just, the happiness that I was able to do an in between 100% right, even though in betweening is probably the lowest on the totem pole of an animation job, an animation company. I still was ecstatic. Crystalline on YouTube says, looking great so far. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, so let me get in here and just get rid of these lines. So you're going to notice after I get a little further on here just how nice it becomes once you get rid of the smudge, because right now it's just so dirty. And I believe you guys can see that smudge. So let me go in there now and just get rid of the ear smudge, just like that, nice and clean. And go around the face, around the mouth here. Go around where I did the eye, around the little nose things, nose holes, I guess you call them. And there you go. Look at that, just like that, just boom. Becomes nice and clean. Let's go up here, and go around here. Get rid of that. Look at that, nice and clean. So now let me get his forehead. I remember I used to have a hard time with the marquee, but after a while, you just get really good at following lines. Look at that, nice and clean. Gosh, this goes so fast too. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible so I can get to coloring in this live stream, and then all you guys can say, that looks good, because we don't actually have colors for these characters yet. So I'm just going to throw in any old colors, or not any old colors, just try to get a color that might look good, and hopefully Don will say, yep, that's the color, and not make any changes to the colors. Then you guys would have been a lot of help. All right, let's see, get rid of that. Let's see, Shane says, oh, this is so cool. Thank you so much, Shane. Joe says, are there still in-betweening jobs in animation? Yeah, I mean, there's still, 2D animation is not dead. So, people like to say that 2D animation is dead, but it's not. So there are jobs in America, in other countries, where you can be an in-betweener. You could start off as an in-between artist and work your way up. But in-betweening is a completely different art than animating, or even being a breakdown artist or cleanup. Every different type of animation job that's out there is different from each other. Nothing is the same. So it takes a different mindset to do, say, in-betweening than doing cleanup. Cleanup is actually really difficult because you got to make sure the characters are on model. Some animators will draw and animate, and their characters won't be on model, and then the cleanup artist has to go in there and make it on model just to make it look like everybody else's drawing, and make sure that, because if you're in betweening Tom and Jerry, you don't want Tom to not look like Tom, or Jerry not look like Jerry. So or even one of Don's characters like Littlefoot, you have to make sure that the characters are 100% on model. Otherwise, it's going to look weird, and people are going to notice that those characters don't look like the character they're supposed to be. Shane says, what program do you use? I am using right now Clip Studio Paint. The reason why I'm using Clip Studio Paint is because I don't want to use too much resources, because Photoshop will use way too much resources, and the stream will, boggle down and lag and stuff. So I make sure I use a program that doesn't take up all the resources, which is Clip Studio. It's a very good program. Julia says, I agree with that. 2D is the core of every animation. It's true. If it wasn't for 2D animation, CG animation would look like Tron still. It's like blocky and there's no life to it. But they use 2D concepts and all that knowledge they learned throughout the years to make characters come to life. I mean, Eric Goldberg and Mark Kent are still at Disney. When Pixar and Disney's working on a movie, they'll do draw overs to make the characters more come to life more, and then the 3D animators or CG animators have to mimic the 2D animation that those guys do, just to make sure it comes to life more. Let's see, Daniel. Whoa, these are amazing. Welcome, Daniel. Question: what are your thoughts on starting an animation studio working on a short film? Okay, well, Daniel, I could tell you're really young, so that's a question, and that's a lot of people want to start an animation studio. But here's the thing. I don't want to bust your bubble or nothing like that, but starting an animation studio, you need people. I mean, you need a lot of people. And a lot of people have to be very skilled. And when you're young, it's great to dream and say, I mean, I wanted my own animation studio, and I did. I did online flash cartoons and had a few viral videos, but I mean, you can't do it by yourself, and you've got to have a payroll, and you've got to pay your employees, and I mean, pretty much if you start your own animation studio, don't plan on being an animator. Plan on being a boss, someone who, like Walt Disney. He just goes room to room and just watches and make sure everything was 100% accurate. But you're not going to be an animator because you're going to be too busy. You're going to be too busy hiring people, firing people. You're going to be too busy marketing, too busy with meetings, too busy with bankers, too busy paying bills. I mean, it's just endless of how much stuff you have to be handing out shots. I mean, you're going to have people. And starting an animation studio, I just don't think you'll be an animator. So that's something to not look forward to, because a lot of young people are, they're like, yeah, I want to be like Walt Disney. But Walt Disney, if you ever read the books about him, I mean, he was stressed out all the time. He almost went broke all the time. Not just that one time when it came to, what was it? Snow White. He almost became broke multiple times. I mean, during the war. I mean, it was nonstop. So I'd say first start, trying to get a job in animation, and then meet enough people, get a name for yourself, and then maybe you'll be able to start a studio. But if you don't have any of that stuff, it's going to be really tough, Okay, let's see. Draco, Ireland has a cartoon saloon, Lighthouse Studios, doing 2D projects. I'm at Lighthouse. There's currently are 2D animation projects around. Yeah, I mean, Ireland, cartoon saloon, and like you said, Lighthouse, that's awesome. So, I mean, and animation is done in Japan, Italy, Korea, all over the place. It's not just America. Canada. I know Canada has a lot of animation. I got buddies up there working on like Teen Titans and stuff. So there's a lot of animation going around. You just have to find it, find the work, and I mean, right now you could probably find remote work because the virus that's going around. So you could probably find work where you're working from home. Like right now, I'm working from home. I go into the office, as much as I can, but we got to make sure everyone's safe and wear masks and stuff like that. So it's better off just to work from home and right now, and then get the work done in your own leisure time. Let's see. Crystalline, LOL Tron, classic movie for its day, but yeah, definitely dated. Yes, definitely dated. I love that movie. I love Tron. I got Tron like memorabilia and stuff. So I'm actually a big Tron fan, even though I'm the traditional animation guy. I love Tron. Tron's great story. I've got the soundtracks. I mean, I would love to one day own that motorcycle. Gosh, if I had that kind of money, but I'd have that motorcycle with all the lights. That'd be the coolest thing, pulling up in that. Crystalline says, for Snow White, Walt Disney even sold his car to help pay for it. Yeah. So, but I mean, there's multiple times. I mean, there was times where people tried taking Mickey Mouse from him. There are because he had to make extra money. He re-released his movies years after they were released, because there wasn't a thing like today where you got Netflix or television. That was even before television. So he would re-release movies so people can go see Snow White again for a second time, or bring their families. Like I think it was like 10. I don't know exactly how long it was after, but maybe 10 years later, 5 years later. I don't know exactly, but he re-released his movie in theaters because that was the only place you could watch video, was theaters. Daniel says, true. Thank you so much. You got it, Daniel. Just keep working, Daniel. I mean, I know shoot for the stars, But you got to start and build a foundation first. Draco says Canada is huge right now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think Sony even just opened up a shop in up there, and they're doing some 2D television stuff. Let's see. Those were all on YouTube. Joe says, thanks for that explanation. I love 2D and I miss the 2D feature animation. Nice to know it's still happening and Don Bluth is a big part of it. Yes. So, I mean, we had that campaign where we did Dragon's Lair and made $730,000, and that was just amazing to do. And we basically made the prequel of Dragon's Lair. So it was like young Dirk, young Daphne, and it was a good 8-minute short. It was fun to do and be part of, and I learned so much. I even got to be a voice. I did effects. I colored, I edited the whole thing. I mean, it was just a wonderful experience. And let's see, all these spots. I got to make sure I don't accidentally erase one of these spots. One of the things Don does mention, though, when you're animating and creating a character, he says this at Don Bluth University. When you're animating a character or creating a character, try not to add too many details. Because then once you animate that character, if it's got too many details, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Kind of like 101 Dalmatians. I think there are people, I don't know for sure. I mean, Don would know. But I wasn't there. But I think they had people who were just spot animators. And all they did was animate the spots on the dogs. And that was probably effects animators. But I wouldn't want to be the spot guy. Like, yeah, oh, you work for Disney? What do? I animate spots. That does not sound like a fun job. But hey, if it pays the bills and keeps a roof over your head, why not? Let's see, dragons. I can't talk about that, Kaylin. I can just talk about Dragon's Lair. The campaign we did on Indiegogo, that was the prequel short. So I can talk about that. I cannot talk about what's happening with Dragon's Lair because I am under contract not to talk about what's happening with Dragon's Lair. But I apologize. If there's ever news on Dragon's Lair, it will be on the internet for everybody to see. We'll post it everywhere. But right now, I can't talk about it. I wish I could, though. I really want to. But we are doing other projects, too, at Don Bluth Studios. Don's doing his autobiography, which should be done soon. So you can actually read Don's history all the way from his childhood and working with Michael Jackson and Bing Crosby and moving to Ireland and just all that awesome stuff that his life has been, So you'll be able to read about his life hopefully soon. We have to also find a publisher, but he's pretty much close to finishing the book. So it's going to be epic. And I've actually read quite a few chapters of it, and it's very exciting. It's a very exciting read. And then we've got this project, Bluth Fables, which is just for the fans. And then we've got a couple other things that we're working on, pitches. However, right now Hollywood is closed because of this virus, so Hollywood's not really taking new projects, only projects that they've already agreed to, which sucks because, I bet you there's a lot of people out there wanting to pitch. But until, it's safe to go outside again or go to places and gather, the world's going to be really different for a while. Let's see. Got some stuff here. Let's see. YouTube. Draco says, I'm an FX guy. I can believe that. Yeah, about Dalmatians. I just wouldn't want to do that. Crystalline says, LOL spots. LOL, wow. Yeah, that had to be a nightmare in 101 Dalmatians. I bet. I mean, oh, come on. And then if you got one spot wrong, all of a sudden it starts deleting or disappearing. I mean, if you don't do it right, it would flicker and look like, I don't know, stars in the sky blinking. Draco says, at least I got to do a lot of kinds of things. And oh, you worked on Klaus. That's good. We've got a Klaus animator here. That is very cool, Draco. Kaylin, is already a prequel made? Do you just mean the game? No, yeah, Kaylin, the pitch on Indiegogo was an 8-minute, basically prequel. It was like when they were young, And when Dirk was young, Daphne was young, how they met, how they got together, and what happened, and how right before it's basically right before the game starts, and it's 8 minutes long, and yeah, that's what we worked on. Daniel says autobiography. That's going to be awesome. I agree. It's going to be very awesome. Crystalline says, "Oh, cool! Don Bluth's autobiography probably be an awesome read. Yes, it's going to be very awesome." I actually like reading the stories with Michael Jackson and Don Bluth. They were working on a project together that just never ever came to fruition. But I've seen the artwork for it, and man, if only that happened. If only that happened, it would be so epic. And it'd be everywhere. Let's see. Kaylin says, "Oh man, I didn't even know. I gotta check that out." Yeah, there's some information on the internet, I think, about Don working with Michael Jackson. Let's see. Julius. Julius on Facebook says, "Sir, can you explain what happens in the animation behind the current 2D animation, TTG, Adventure Time, etc.? I'm curious how they create 2D animation." Well, see, I know that some studios are still using Flash. So when it comes to like Teen Titans Go, that's done in Flash. Um, some programs, I mean, there's TV. See, it really depends on the studio, and and I don't know that many people who work on all the different cartoon shows, but I'm not quite sure what they do in Adventure Time. It's probably Toon Boom, honestly. And Toon Boom, Toon Boom even has a Flash option where you can switch it to be like Flash. But there's Toon Boom, TV Paint. Some shows use After Effects to animate the shows. So really, it's different shows will use different programs, and I guess it really just depends on the director or the art director or whoever's running the show or whoever did the pilot. But just know that there is no more cell animation. That is not being done anymore. So nothing is being done with celluloids where there's ink and painters. It's almost everything on TV animation wise is going to be done in some kind of computer software. But knowing which program they use, you'd have to, you'd have to work there to know for the most part, or know somebody who works there. But I've known people who work on Archer and but I never asked them what software you use, because honestly I don't want to know, but I could start asking, trying to figure out what shows use what. But I'm pretty sure Toon Boom is the majority of productions out there. Let's see. Lou says, "I'd love to do this de-smudging job. I can't draw, but I'm very careful and good attention to details. It looks so satisfying. Hopefully one of the few good things that come from the virus is that disabled people like me will have more work from home opportunities, especially in the creative section or sector." I agree. Actually, this de-smudging I'm doing is actually, I said it in an older stream, but it's actually very therapeutic. I just sit here. Usually I'll just put music on, and the Tron soundtrack, or I'll put on just different soundtracks, or I'll put on just different types of music depending on my mood. I love all types of music, so I can listen to rock, I can listen to rap, alternative, country. I have pretty much an open mind when it comes to music. As long as it's enjoyable to listen to, I can listen to it. Even newer stuff like Post Malone, I can listen to that. I'm not like one of those. I am pushing 40. I'm 38, so I'm not like one of those old guys that goes, "Oh, you kids and that music." Okay. When I was your age, we had the Beatles, and they were the best. Well, I'm not like that. I'm no old fogey. I'll listen to new stuff, old stuff, and enjoy it. Let's see. Julia says, "That's why it looks so digital." Yeah, everything on TV looks digital. Klaus, we've got a Klaus animator here. I'm pretty sure they might have had their own software on that, but I know a lot of the animation was done pencil, some of it, or it was animated and then they just used their own program to do the coloring. So I mean, but man, Klaus is beautiful. But a lot of other shows, it's pretty much all computer. Julia says, thank you, by the way. You are welcome. Joe says, now there needs to be a Space Ace prequel. I agree. I'm a big fan of Space Ace myself. Let's see. Check that out. Draco says, yeah, one of the insane people who insist on being a 2D guy in the time where 2D has been declared dead. Me. 2D is not dead. 2D was more dead like 5 years ago. But now, I mean, look at WB and all the stuff WB's doing. You got Animaniacs. You've got, what is it? Why am I saying Snoopy? Scooby, and then also doing a lot of the WB stuff like Batman and stuff. So I mean, 2D is not dead. I mean, maybe a lot of it's not done here. I mean, most of the jobs in America are like storyboard jobs. So if you're a storyboard artist, you can, and writers and stuff, or people who do timing for X sheets and stuff. But the animations, ship to like Korea and other countries like that. So if you live in Korea, you could be an animator. Not quite sure how much it pays, though. That's the whole point of why it's in Korea, is because it's cheaper. So I think if it was here in America, most of the budgets would be more than tripled. Let's see. Archer would be Harmony. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was After Effects? I think someone told me that once. I had a friend who worked on it, but I forgot what he said. They might have done some of that. Crystalline says, nice old fogey voice. Thank you. I do voice acting. I love it. Draco says, Klaus was animated by hand, frame by frame in harmonies. Yep, see, that's another Toon Boom. The shading was done with a dedicated program that needed a lot of hands-on work. Yeah, that's what I heard. And that program, if that program ever came out, where they did the shading, man, they would make tons of money on that program if they released a program that did that kind of shading. Man, I would love that program. I would buy that program. And then I would shade like this project we're working on here, like Klaus, if I had that program. I mean, of course, I'd have to learn how to use it, but I'm sure there'd be a lot of tutorials or lessons on how to use it if they released it. Let's see. Yeah, Crystalline, that is very cool. I agree. Let's see. Julia says, or Joe says, oh, I already read that. I'm sorry if I keep seeing the same things. Julia says, WB is continuing the 2D animation. Yes, it is. They're trying to keep it alive. Imagine watching a Batman cartoon in CG. It's like playing a video game. I honestly can't picture a Batman in CG or a Superman unless it's a video game. And I've played some of those games. And they're fun, but to watch it, I don't know. This is something about 2D animation that's charm that just makes those series, perfect the way they are. But I could not picture watching Batman in CG. I don't know if any of you guys could, but I did play that game Arkham Asylum, and that was pretty sweet. That was CG. But again, you're playing a game, you're interactive, so it's a lot different. Draco says, you can find info as to what studio provided the lighting software. Oh, I'm surprised it's a studio. I'm surprised they don't own it. But I mean, if whatever studio does own that software, I mean, really, they should release it to the public and then make, millions. Because I'm sure there'd be a lot of artists wanting to use that software. You'd probably see a revolution of some kind where tons of people are using it. I'm almost done with this guy. Let's see. Lou says, can tell you do voice work just from how you read out the comments. Thank you. All right, let's get this foot, and then once this guy is done, I'll get the other guy, and then we'll color it. Let's see. Yeah, I think I could. Or maybe you guys would just want me to color now. What do you think? Do you like the de-smudging, or would you rather see me color? Because I can do either or now that this guy is done. Then I can de-smudge the other guy in my own time. But if you guys want to see me color the lion, let me know, and I will skip ahead and color the guy. Probably going to leave... Nah, I should probably get that foot, just in case. Let's see. It's almost done with this one. Sometimes when you get close to finishing, you just start going super fast, and then you make mistakes. So a word to the wise is to keep patience, even when you're about to finish something. Otherwise, you might make some mistakes, and that's the last thing you want to do. Because if this was animation and I made a single mistake, you'd be able to tell. There you go. I cleaned that guy. Let me add a background. Look at that. He's clean. He's clean. Got the tail clean. He's ready to go. Just one more guy. Let's see. De-smudging is satisfying, Kaylin says. It is. It is. Wherever your inspiration takes you, Crystalline. Let's see. Couldn't you use something like Esben? I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'll look that up later. Let me do some coloring. I think this color. I think you guys would be interested and try to find the color of the lion. He's only one color, so I mean it's going to be simple. Alex says, where do you get your start animation? How long did it take to get your first job? As a recent 3D animation grad, I'm always curious of other people. Well, Alex, finding a job is going to be a lot easier for you. That's for sure. Because you're in CG. And CG, you can work anywhere. And pretty much all productions are CG. So you're going to have a lot better time than, say, a 2D animator. Because 2D animation is very hard to find work. So, and I'll answer your other question in a second. I just want to get the color here. I'm going to try like a gold. Well, let's go orange a little bit. Let's go around. Let's try that color. Yeah, let's try that color. How does that look? Let me just glob it in there. That's a bit bright. Let me monotone it a little like that and bring it down like this. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I have a feeling though Don's going to say, no, that's the wrong color. Story of my life. It's a little bit more muted. I'll do that one. Like for Crystalline says for the lion, how about a color like the old Crayola crayon maze? I'm not sure if I'm spelling it right. I don't know what color that is in here or in here. Let's see. It's not here. We got this. Do they label it? Let's see. You got maraschino, tangerine, cantaloupe, salmon. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in here. Mocha. Not going to use that. That's too dark. This might actually. Let's. You know what? I like that, but let's darken it a little. Yeah, I like that. Oops, I think I lost it. We go back to that. Cantaloupe, and then darken it just a little bit. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm gonna try that. Okay, so let's see. Lou says color, then I can sleep. All right, sorry about that. I want to do streaming earlier, but I just work so much during the day. If I could, I would stream earlier to get everybody in America and over on your side of the pond as well. Hexadecimal color. Let me see if I can actually use the hex on here. Let's see. I don't think I can use that, but let's see. F2 C649. Nope. There we go. Let's see. F2. It's not popping up. Yeah. See, I'm not in Photoshop. I apologize. I'm not going to be able to get that crystalline. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. So Alex asked, where did you get to start animation? Okay, so I started animation. I said this in my last one too. I started in 1999. Well, actually, I started in Mario Paint when I was a little kid, as I'm sure many people did. But I started in 99 in Flash because I found this website called Newgrounds. And then I created a website called flashcartoons.org. And I made hundreds of animated cartoons online. And I won awards. I had some viral videos that got millions and millions of views. And then I did that for many, many years, while I went to college, and which was, cool. And then in 2000, I think it was 8, I got myself, because I was animating with a mouse, because I wasn't even using a tablet. Tablets were really expensive back then. Now you could buy a tablet for $99. Might not be a good one, like the bamboo ones, but you could still buy a tablet and use a tablet. But it was about 2008 where I got my first tablet, an Ineos 3, and I can't do that. Ineos 3, and it was an eye opener for me. So I started creating characters that had more character to them and looked better, and I started animating more. I did some online lessons and went to blogs like John Kay's blog as part of a forum called Animation Forum, where I was just learning how to animate and getting help from other people. Look at that. So then in 2009, Don Bluth started an online club called Don's Club, and it was like the best thing ever. He had DVDs, and then you could do the DVDs and send in your lessons. It was a forum, and I went to his master classes and got to meet him, and that was 11 years ago now. My goodness. But it was amazing, and over 11 years ago. So I did that for a few years, and then I started doing some training from some Disney guys. So Don Bluth's Club was up for till 2012. At the same time, I was going to Life Drawing and at a place called Corralde in Orlando. And then multitasking. And then I started learning from some Disney guys, because there's a lot of ex-Disney animators in Florida. And they worked on things like Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, just all the goodies. Oh, that's bad. And I got to meet them, and I also started interning at one of the studios out there. And I'd get training as well as doing some... In Life Drawing, I'd go with some of the biggest names, like Aaron Blaise would be there, and I'd be sitting next to Aaron Blaise while doing Life Drawing. It was pretty sweet. So that was that, and then I did that for a few years, and then I started the traditional animation show, and then I interviewed Don Bluth in that show and convinced him to do the Dragon's Lair pitch, because they weren't even sure they were going to do it at that point. And they were saying we were thinking about it, we want to do it. And then I was like, well, let me be part of this project. And then they hired me in 2015. And I've been here ever since. In there somewhere, I created traditionalanimation.com. That was 2011. And built, the largest online website for hand-drawn animation. Still is. We don't focus on all animation. We focus on just hand-drawn animation, which is the best animation, of course, as you all know. There's this CG animation will never be as good as hand-drawn animation, no matter how hard they try. They try their hardest to mimic it, but they will never be able to. You just can't. You can't beat it. So let's see. We've got some questions. Venetia says, I'm working at the same time with this on the side. It's fun listening to you while I work on animation. That's great. We're being very productive together. Annie says, looks like nice golden color. Yes, but I have a feeling that Don's going to change it. But we'll find out. The next stream will be next week. Thursday, and you'll see whether or not Don decided to keep this color. I'll probably end up coloring the Goblin guys too. And then I'll start working on the next page, and this is the next page. This is going to be next week, you guys. So be sure you come next week on Thursday around the same time if you want to see me start de-smudging and coloring this. I'm going to color every page, and I'm even going to be live streaming the production of the. I'll be using Premiere and putting together the pages and the flipping of the pages and putting Don's voice. So you'll be hearing Don's voice, me scrubbing through his voice, and you'll see all of that once I'm done with all the pages. So I'm going to basically, from start to finish, you're going to see this Bluth Fable come to life. It's going to be really cool. Let's see. Crystalline says, Mario Paint coffee break was fun. I remember Mario Paint. I used to make music on there. It was countless hours, and the sad thing is it's all lost now. Like, I don't know what happened to the game. I didn't save it. I mean, I just remember creating so much fun stuff back then and just having a lot of fun. And you couldn't save it on the computer or whatever because it was just a Super Nintendo cartridge. And even I don't think computers back then could probably even handle it. Draco says, oh, Newgrounds, so you would know Adam Phillips and the Breaking Wood series. Yes, I do. He was your mentor. Yeah, Adam Phillips. Yeah, I know him very well, actually. I don't know him personally, but I've seen his stuff, and I think I've talked to him a couple times. But yeah, I ran flashcartoons.org. So it was a website where there was tutorials, games. It was pretty much second to Newgrounds. I would bring in like 10, 20. Ooh, excuse me. I'm burping. Sorry about that. That's gross. I'd bring in like 10, 20,000 visitors a day, and it was pretty cool. Alex says, that's really cool. Thanks so much for your time. You're welcome. Alex, this is a nice background noise for me while I animate too. Good. Let's all animate together. If we all do this together, just keep building and building and filling the internet with 2D. So much 2D to the point where studios have to say, fine, you want 2D animation? Here's your 2D animation. And then they'll hire all of us. Or they'll hire Don Bluth to make some movies. How about that? Breckenwood is a big inspiration for my thesis this year. That's great. I remember watching in the beginning too, when he first started the Breckenwood series, and I mean Flash. I mean, even back then you could still do frame by frame animation with Flash, Rebecca says, check this out. Thank you for getting more people in here. Annie says, yeah, some newer, cheaper Wacom's are even less, around 50 to 70 euro. Wow, yeah, that is cheap. Like $55 to $75. Dave says, my old boss who taught me to airbrush was an in-betweener on Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, that's cool. I actually learned, one of the Disney guys that taught me animation, he was one of the breakdown artists on Lilo and Stitch. And he gave me some lessons, and one of them came out terrible, which is why I never put it online, but I did try. I've drawn a bunch of Stitches. Those are online. Julia says, have you tried using Synfig software in animation? I have not, but I could check it out. Let's see. Draco says, if you're interested to hook up with Adam, he streams on Twitch every time weekend. I don't want to promote on your stream, but I could DM you. Yeah, let me see it. Christine says they should re-release Mario Paint for 3DS. I think they should make a Mario Paint for the Switch. Make it just humongous. The 3DS is actually dead. They stopped making 3DSs, and that's a bummer. But they're not making them anymore. So they're not. I don't think they're making games for the 3DS anymore because their portable is now not only just a portable, but it's also for the television. But it's the Switch. So yes, I've seen people using the 3DS like Kiki. I've talked to him a few times. He's got a huge following. He's great. I love his stuff. Daniel says, LOL, I had to interview someone in sophomore year in high school, and I chose Don Bluth. I didn't actually get the interview, but just researching about his life was so interesting. Yes. Now, one thing I do want to tell you guys that I've watched some of these videos on YouTube where people are claiming that they know Don Bluth history, and they don't know squat. And they get bad information. And I mean, there was one that says like the fall of Don Bluth. I mean, all these people, they're just clickbaiting. I mean, wait till the book comes out and you can actually hear it from the man himself, his life and his story. The YouTube videos that people make are just trying to get clickbait, trying to get monetization, and it's actually quite sad that people would go that route to do things like that. So it's a bit of a bummer, but that's YouTube. Daniel says, what's it like working with the man, the myth, the legend, Don Bluth? Let's just say the first week I was here, let me get back to painting. Sorry, you guys. Sometimes I just start rambling on, say, Lavelle, shut up, get back to work. Crack the whip, psh, get to work. When I first met him, I remember I was coming to the master class after we were doing Don's Club, and then in the master class, all of us were talking because we knew each other for a while in the forum, and then Don Bluth walked in, and we all just got quiet and watched him walk in. It was fun. It was actually, now that I look back, it was almost kind of creepy of us but we were just blown away that there was Don, and we get to meet Don and learn from Don in person. And I remember I was so nervous. He asked me because he was setting up for the class, and he needed some help. And I was actually a moderator on the forum. I got that honor to be one of the people who moderates the other students. And so he needed help with putting up the board that he'd be drawing on. And I was so nervous that I goofed up and it fell. And he's like, here, I'll just do it. And I was like, oh, gosh. I was like, I just embarrassed myself with Don Bluth. It was terrible. But I got over it because now I work for the man. But that was what it was like to meet him. When I first got the job here, I work out of Don's house. So I get to go to his house to work. So my office is actually right across from his, look at that. My office is right across from his bedroom, so I'd get there early, and then I'd hear him coming out of his bedroom, and he would say, morning, and then I'd be like, morning, every day for 3 years, for years. I mean, until at least the coronavirus happened. And that was just an excellent experience to be able to, wish Don a good morning every day when he got out of his bedroom. And Don's got a pretty big house, so it's a gigantic house. That's why we could all work in it. But it was epic, to say the least. And I remember calling my sister and talking to my friends, and when I was on break, I'd go outside and call people on my lunch break, and I'd say, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe they chose out of millions of artists out there who would die for this job. I'm the one working here. And, I'm very grateful for this time that I've got to have. And that's why I try to do as much as I can to help Don and, build his social media, come up with ideas, help write things, edit things, whatever I can do to help. Man, look at that. What do you guys think? But yeah, that's what it's like working for the man. I didn't know he streams. I might actually, I'm going to be doing some videos, videos of me in person and putting them on the YouTube channel. Again, if you're new here, come follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lavalle Lee. And there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff happening on there. And we just got a new follower. Thank you, EMI. So I'm going to be doing a lot of animation related stuff, and Don's going to be in it, in some of them. So I'm going to try to get Don to get in some of my videos, and I know I want to help promote his theater because he's reworking his theater to be a lot bigger. So I'm going to do a video about his theater, probably interview him about his theater and stuff like that, and that'll be on my YouTube channel. So let's see. Crystalline says, wow, I didn't know about the 3DS. Sad. I have Dragon's Lair for the 3DS, and I played on the 3DS. Yeah, I know. That's what happens, As time goes on, products, move on. I mean, remember there was Sega, and then Sega 3DX, and Sega CD, and then there was Sega Saturn, and then Sega Dreamcast, and Sega was gone. So, I mean, systems, they move on, And in fact, they're talking about the new Nintendo system that's coming out, the new PlayStation, the new Xbox. So we're going to get all that stuff coming up in the next, year? Draco says, well, I can't find a way to do this. Sorry, you have the DMs locked on your Twitter. Oh, well, just go on my Facebook then. My DMs shouldn't be locked on Lavalle Lee. That's weird. I'll look into that. Let's see. Let's go on Facebook here. Benicia says, you sound like my former professors when you talk about 2D animation. They were older, former Disney animators. The whole animation department was focused on traditional animation. Every year we had to animate only on paper or Maya. Well, yeah, I mean, I am old. I'm 38. But I have a deep love for hand-drawn animation. I mean, I do watch CG animation. Like I'm a fan of like Toy Story, the first three. Didn't like the fourth one, but I do like. I mean, Monsters Inc. I love the story there and the characters. Um, so I don't hate CG, but I have a profound love for hand drawn animation, and I wish I was born in like the 20s, maybe not the 20s, maybe like 1900s, so I could have worked for Walt Disney, and I would have worked so hard, and I would have been probably one of the. I'd be the 10th old man. But yeah, I just wished that would have been amazing. Chantel says, we got a new follower, Maria. Thanks, Maria. Chantel says, Don Bluth is great. Thank you so much. Chantel says, darn coronavirus. I agree. Venetia says, haha, that was great. What fun stories. Dave says, that's pretty awesome. Thanks, Dave. And Venetia. And Chantel. Julia says, the color is just perfect. Well, we'll see. Don will be the judge of that. Okay. Chantel says, it's nice of you to assist with his social media. Also, great work so far. Glad I caught this. Yeah, I mean, I do more than assist. I actually run the joint. So all the social media you see, I'll go to Don and say, hey, Don, can you please say something? And then I'll just type what he says and I'll post it. But I run all the social media for traditional animation and all the Don Bluth stuff. Let's see. Chris Lyon says, LOL. Yes. So there we go. There is the lion. I'm probably going to have to do something with his hair, but I will save that for later. Let's see. Well, how about I color one of these goblin guys? Which one should I do? The left one or the right one? Or the left one or the middle one? I'll let you guys choose. I'm going to call him he's going to be a toad goblin. That's going to be his name. I like Toad Goblin. The lion's mane reminds me of Gene Wilder's hair. Gene Wilder is amazing. Young Frankenstein, got to be one of my favorite movies. Screen left. Okay, we've got some lefts. It looks like I'm going to go left. Venetia says, I sometimes wish that as well, but there's more opportunities for me as a woman to be an animator. But I do love traditional, which is why I went to that school. Yeah, I mean, more power to you. Rebello, hello from Brazil. Hello from Brazil. I actually watched the Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos yesterday, and there was that song Brazil. I completely forgot it, and I'm butchering it, but I love that. I love those movies. And it's awesome that Walt did that. Lou also says left, so yes, we're going to be doing left. And I got another left too. Okay, left's going to be maybe a modded green, mottled green of some sort. I'm sorry if I can't read some of the words, you guys. I did go to public school, so I have sometimes big words harm me. Middle goofy one. Oh, sorry, Jenny. You're the only one that said the middle one. I'm going to be doing the left one. So I'm going to try to figure out what muddled green means. So I'm going to choose this. Let's see how this looks. No, that's gross. Let's not do that. Plus, I think it needs to be darker. Darker, maybe a different type of green. Like an ugly... No, not that either. It's going to be tough coming up with this. How about something like that? No, not that either. Let me bring up that as well. Let's go over here. Let's try that. How about I color one thing and I can show you guys a really cool feature in Clip Studio Paint. That's really awesome. Yes, thanks, Draco. Darker and maybe less saturation. Let me go just a little darker here, like you said. Yeah, let me try that. I'll color him this, and then we can play around with it a little bit. And with this feature on Clip Studio, that is awesome. And I recommend if you ever want to use Clip Studio, you use this option because it can completely. Because right now, every color that I do on here is on a different layer. So every layer, I could show you the layer box, I believe, if it lets me. This is the layer box. Whoops. So if you look at the kangaroo, kanga ears, kanga bow tie, kanga shirt, pants, shoes, skin, eyes. I use layers, and I use them for basically every color, because then I can go in there and change the color if Don says I want to change the color, because he does that a lot. So I make it so it's incredibly simple to change the color, and I will show you that feature as soon as I finish coloring this toad. Also, if you're just joining us, or if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube. It is youtube.com/Lavalle Lee. It is on the bottom right corner that you can actually see the address to the YouTube. And I would be much appreciative. Probably change that. I'm gonna do a separate color for his nose, just for fun. But yeah, if you could follow the YouTube, I'm going to keep building the YouTube. I would say since I started, it was at only 170 subscribers, and then I started streaming and it went up to 300. So I appreciate everything, you guys. I mean, I appreciate so much you letting me into your home or your workplace. Oh, I need to erase that. And sharing with you this project. I think that's really cool of you to do. And I greatly appreciate all the support that you guys have given us. And that's why this project is being made. It's being made for the fans. Like, we've done contests for the fans, even when we don't have a project going on, where you could like win a drawing, stuff like that. We might do more of those in the future, because I know everybody would love to have a Don Bluth drawing. Let's see. Middle goofy one, as is Jenny. Yeah, like a drab olive. I agree. This is pretty drab, right? This isn't too exciting for a green. It doesn't make me say, wow, that's the best green on earth. It's just a ugly greenish color. Let's see. Hello from the Philippines. I can watch it till the end. That's great. We are getting close to the end. We've only got about another 10 minutes to go, and I apologize. I can only do a little bit over an hour each time. Julia says, I wish my country would create 2D animation also. We have very good illustrators and animators. I mean, I agree. Everybody should animate 2D animation. I wish there was more 2D animation everywhere. Even on planet Mars and on the moon. I would love to be an astronaut and be the first person to animate in space. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Julia says you will subscribe. Thank you so much. You just on the bottom left there, that's the address, youtube.com/Lavalle Lee. And that would be mighty cool of you. Let's see. Kaylee says, that was really interesting what you said about working at Don's house. Could you talk more about that? I'm getting close to the end of the stream. I apologize. There are so many stories I could say because I've been here for 5 years now. I mean, I've got to know Don, the man. You know, a lot of you guys know Don, the director, but I got to, meet and learn the man. I mean, he even takes my advice on things. Me, a 38-year-old punk, he'll sit there and listen to my opinion and take it sometimes. Like, all right, that's a good idea, Lavelle. And at that point, I'm blown away. I remember when they were looking for a voice for the Dragon's Lair pitch, I was like, can I try a voice? Because we just couldn't get the voice down. And he said, sure. Oh, that nose has to be on a separate level. You're right, guys. Toad nose. And I don't like that color. Let's try something else. Like that. Yeah. It's still going to be green. Well, maybe I should go pink. Let me just see. Yeah, I'm going to go pink. You guys are so smart. Thank you. Green is terrible for the nose. and he's a toad, a pig toad goblin. Yeah. I'm sure Don's going to change that, but for now I'm just going to keep it as is. But yeah, if you come to my next live stream, ask me that same question about stories at Don's, and I will definitely tell you as many as I can. Maybe like the story where I got Don to wear a Darth Vader costume. That was epic. Let's see. Daniel says, now I can't stop thinking about the Don Bluth autobiography. Yeah, I mean, he's already written the whole thing. He's just going through it right now, trying to fix spots and stuff like that, but it's going to be awesome. Crystalline says, yeah, you could animate something Space Ace related. That would really be fitting for the first animator in space, right? I'd probably animate all kinds of things, like characters that I don't own, because I don't own Space Ace. You know, that Don owns that. But I'd animate like Snoopy, maybe like Dirk. I'd animate some of my own characters. I would do whatever I could. Let's see. Chris Lyon says it looks good. Yeah, so Kaylee, please come back on Thursday and I will answer your questions. She's smiley faced. Thank you so much. Hope you create more of these. There are so many of us that still appreciate 2D. Yeah, Julius, I'm going to be trying to do this every week. Like Thursday, I'm going to try to hit this out on Thursday. Fridays, I'll try to do Friday as well, but no matter what, I'll be doing Thursday live streams because I want to get this thing going on my free time just so we can get something for the fans because it's really important that we... Jenny says, Piglet knows. Yes, it is. And Don worked on Winnie the Pooh, the original. Chantel says, you're breadcrumbing us with Don Bluth house experiences. LOL, it's going to work. This is great to hear. I'm going to try to make it to the next one. Yes, thank you so much. Just, again, subscribe on the YouTube channel and like hit that notification button that says notify you of everything. And then you'll get a notification on your phone or on your computer. And it'll say when my live stream, but it'll probably be around the same time, which is an hour and 13 minutes ago. Whatever time that was in your neck of the woods or in the world, that's when I'll be live streaming next week. Crystalline says, Dirk in space! Hopefully that wasn't too loud and broke your eardrums. Okay, so let me do this one thing I said I was going to do. So it's really cool. This toad goblin here, say you want to change a color. Here, now look, just to give you an explanation or a show, that is the only thing on here, on this specific layer, that's colored. You see that? That's the only thing that has color on that layer. So be sure, if you want to change the color of everything on that layer, it will change the color. So let me go over here and choose a color. I'm going to choose red. This is just an example. So what I'll do is I'll go to Edit, and change color of line to drawing. Boom. Red. Just like that. It's as easy as that. You could change the entire color of that layer. Now let me turn everything back on. That looks terrible. But that's how it's done. So now he's red. Don actually might say something like that. Like, let's make all the characters some random color. I wouldn't doubt it. And plus they're little goblins, evil goblins. He might like, you know what, let me find a different red and actually go with that. And just see what he says. A more watered down, change color of line to drawing. So yeah, again, edit, change color of line to drawing in Clip Studio Paint. We'll change the color. Now let me do the lion. The lion is just one layer of all his color. So I'll take the lion. Let's make the lion pink. How about that? Boom. Pink. Now we've got a pink lion. So it's as easy as that. You just go to Edit and change color of line to drawing, and then you just choose the color over here is the color that you want to use. So okay, guys, I'm going to be ending this stream. So if you've got any final questions of any kind that are, as long as they're not really long, because I can sit there and just ramble on. As soon as I'm done with this, let me turn on all the colors. I'm probably going to finish this on my own and then start you guys next week on this drawing. So this is the drawing that I'll start next week doing smudge up. And as you can see, this one's really messy. You can see where Don drew this character in and erased it.
So I'm going to have to get rid of the old character, and then he's going to be completely colored and nice and clean, and do the de-smudge. But this is going to be next week's, I want to say assignment, but it's not really assignment. I feel like I'm teaching a class or something. But it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be for next week. Again, down here is a subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube if you want to see more of this. And let me see what questions we have or things you say, because I am now going to be heading out. Neat. I've got CSP. It's been tricky to learn, but this is a good tip to learn. Yes, it's definitely a good tip, and it really can help. Say your boss all of a sudden wants to change all the frames of one character, and then you have to sit there and repaint each of them, because sometimes the paint bucket tool can bleed out. So in most programs, like Photoshop and this program as well, and sometimes it's not 100% accurate. So it's easier just to go, boop, change color of line to drawing. And then it just gets everything on that layer. It's very cool. RIP headphone user, epic though. Yeah, sorry Lou if I broke your eardrums. Chantel says 2D is still acceptable to modernity. We need more 2D. I agree 100%. Chantel says pink. I did make him pink, but see, he's already a pink, like a purple pink. Julia says, can you recommend animation tools for beginners, sir? I really want to start participating. Yes, the tools you should use, Julius, it's a thing called a pencil and animation paper. So you get yourself a small desk, and you get some animation paper, 12 field, pencil, and just start flipping. Do it the classic way, because the classic way is the best way. Lou says, almost 2 a.m., but worth it. We'll be back next time. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me. Jenny says, can't wait. Love the expression on the bunny in the next drawing. Yes, it's going to be really cool. Oh, sorry. That's my dog running around if you hear noises and little pitter-patters. My dog's playing with his toy, or her toy. And my dog's name is Pepper. My little Pepper. Sometimes I call her Peppermint. All right, you guys. Well, that is it. That will be the live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be here next week, Thursday, same time, same bat channel, same bat time. And I will see you then. And thank you again. I'm Lavalle Lee from Don Bluth Studios and traditionalanimation.com. Be sure you subscribe on the left and hit that notification button so you get all these updates, and you be sure to be in the next live stream. Thank you so much, guys and girls, and I will see you later. I will see you later if I can figure out where my mouse